Hello lovely viewers, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful News official YouTube channel, your top destination for the most explosive CBS soap updates. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up. The morning air buzzed with anticipation inside the Forrester mansion, where delicate white flowers adorned the grand staircase and a sense of sacred reverence clashed with the chaotic emotional undercurrents running through each guest. It was the day of baby Hayes' baptism, a ceremony intended to symbolize renewal and grace, but as the event began, long-held secrets, painful regrets, and shocking revelations threatened to drown the occasion in tension and fury. On this fateful Saturday, nothing would remain untouched, not family, not faith, and certainly not forgiveness. As guests arrived in silence, their pastel outfits brushing against rose-petal-strewn floors, a quiet reverence lingered. But beneath that calm exterior, emotions were about to detonate. Ridge stood at the altar, his hands clasped behind his back, flanked by Brooke and Taylor. The two women had agreed to put aside their differences for this sacred day, yet their glances occasionally betrayed the lingering friction between them. Beside them, Steffi clutched her baby's hand and gave a tight nod to the priest, signaling the baptism was about to begin. In another corner of the room, Luna stood rigid, her face pale and unreadable. She had just been blindsided by a life-altering revelation. Bridget had exposed her mother, Lee Finnegan, for orchestrating a fake death, Luna's own. The truth bomb had detonated mere hours earlier at the hospital, sending shockwaves through both the Finnegan and Logan families. Luna was still reeling, the grief raw in her throat, her mind churning with the realization that not only had her life been manipulated, but her very identity had been weaponized by the two women who claimed to love her most, Poppy and Lee. Poppy, dressed in soft lavender, tried to catch Luna's eye, her lips trembling with silent apologies. But Luna refused to look at her. She stared instead at the altar, where the priest began the baptism prayers, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "Today we gather in joy and faith," the priest began, his tone warm, "to bless young Hayes Forrester Finnegan into a life of love, family, and community. We invite all gathered here to open their hearts." But hearts were anything but open today. Luna's was sealed shut. Poppy's was breaking apart. And Lee, well, Lee had yet to arrive. Her absence wasn't just noted, it was questioned. Hope Logan leaned in to whisper to Carter Walton, "Is it strange Lee isn't here yet?" Carter gave a nod. "She knows today is important. But something tells me she's avoiding the explosion she knows is coming." And explode it did. Just as the priest dipped his hand into the baptismal font and let the holy water drip gently over baby Hayes' forehead, the sound of a door bursting open cracked like thunder through the ceremony. All heads turned. There stood Lee Finnegan, composed, unapologetic, and dressed in dark navy, a bold color of defiance at an event themed in whites and pastels. Steffi stiffened. "What is she doing here?" she muttered. Bridget rose to her feet, fury flashing in her eyes. "You weren't invited," she snapped, her voice reverberating. "You don't belong here, not after what you did." Lee stepped forward, slow and steady. "I came to see my grandson baptized." "You mean the one whose mother you manipulated and lied to?" Hope countered, voice trembling with disbelief. "I did what I had to do to protect this family," Lee hissed. "And if you knew half of what I've done to keep this family together." "You faked Luna's death," Bridget shouted, standing now in front of the altar. "You told everyone she was gone. You kept her hidden. You let her suffer alone." Gasps rippled through the guests. Luna, blinking back tears, finally turned to face her mother. "You lied to me," Luna whispered. "You made me think the world was safer without me in it." Poppy let out a sob. "Luna, please, you have to believe I didn't know." "Don't," Luna snapped. "Don't you dare pretend to be innocent." The priest, clearly rattled, paused the ceremony. Steffi looked between Finn and Ridge, torn between maintaining dignity for the sake of her son and unleashing fury on the woman who had shattered her family's trust. Finn, standing beside Luna, stepped forward. "You're not just a liar, Mom," he said to Lee, voice low but dangerous. "You're cruel. You took Luna from us. From me. You destroyed something that was just beginning to heal. Lee stood tall. I saved her, she said coldly. You all are too blinded by emotion to see what this family really needs. Taylor finally spoke. Enough. This is not the time or the place. But Brooke shot her a look. Oh, so now you want to play peacemaker? Taylor's expression hardened. We came here for a baptism, not a war. Brooke turned back toward the confrontation. Lee, if you don't leave, I will personally make sure you're escorted out. Luna, voice shaking but firm, turned to the priest. Continue, she said. Don't let her stop this moment. The priest hesitated, then nodded. He resumed the ceremony as if trying to pull the sacred energy back into the room. But the damage was done. The blessing now felt fractured, interrupted by truths too painful to ignore. As the holy water was placed on Hayes's head, Luna walked slowly toward Poppy, who stood frozen near the aisle. I can't do this anymore, Luna said softly. Poppy's eyes welled. Luna, please. I needed a mother, Luna said. But all I got was betrayal. You chose silence over truth. You chose her over me. That's not true. But it is. And now, I'm choosing to walk away. Luna, Poppy gasped, reaching for her daughter's arm. Luna pulled away. Don't follow me. The room fell into stunned silence as Luna turned and walked out. Her heels clicked sharply on the marble floor, each step echoing with finality. The guests watched her go, some in tears, others in awe of her strength. Finn looked at Poppy, then at Lee, and then back at Bridget. You were right, he said to Bridget. You were the only one who told the truth. Bridget gave a sad smile. Sometimes the truth isn't enough to save people. But it can set them free. Outside, Luna stood in the garden, breathing in the summer air, trying to find her center again. Behind her, the chapel doors remained closed. She was no longer part of that gathering, not yet. Maybe not ever. Meanwhile, inside the mansion, angry threats began to swirl like thunderclouds. Ridge confronted Lee directly, his voice like gravel. You will never be part of this family again. Do you understand me? You're finished. And if you ever try to see Hayes again, Steffi added, you'll have to go through me. Lee narrowed her eyes. This family loves to judge, but none of you are saints. And none of us pretended our child was dead to control a narrative, Finn spat. Get out, Taylor said, finally firm. Now. Lee took a long, cold look at the room, then turned and walked away, the door slamming behind her like a final nail in her own coffin. As the baptism concluded, guests whispered among themselves. The baby had been blessed, yes, but the family? Fractured beyond repair. Outside in the garden, Finn found Luna sitting alone on a bench, arms wrapped around herself. Are you okay? He asked gently. No, Luna replied honestly. But I will be. Someday. Finn sat beside her. You're stronger than you know. I just wish I didn't have to be, Luna whispered. Finn took her hand. You're not alone anymore. Back inside, Bridget joined Poppy, who had collapsed into a chair, weeping. You could have told the truth, Bridget said. But you didn't. I was scared, Poppy whispered. I thought I was protecting her. You protected yourself, Bridget corrected. And now she's gone. Thus ended the baptism day, a ceremony of holy water, bitter truths, and broken trust. A day that was supposed to mark a new beginning had instead exposed wounds still bleeding, relationships still splintering, and love still laced with lies. But as Luna walked away, her spine straight and her eyes clear, one thing became certain, she would never again allow herself to be defined by someone else's secrets. Her journey was just beginning. And the bold and the beautiful would never be the same again. At the sanitarium, Lee tells Penelope she's in shock. Poppy insists she understands just fine and stands by her sentiment, I'm glad my son's dead. Lee pities Luna. Lee drags Poppy into a separate room and tells her she's disgusting. Luna is her meat and blood. Poppy's happy to be relieved of her. Lee snaps that she's a terrible mama. How could someone so vile be her family? Luna no way had a chance, Lee declares. Poppy tells Lee she no way gave a damn about her or Luna, she should stop pretending she cares. Lee remembers Luna as a child, she was a good girl who was principled and innocently sound. She knows he'd have turned out else had her mama not been a lozenge-popping coitus addict. Lee shamed to partake a last name with her family. Lee Poppy BNB. Poppy insists she's not cruel, she's relieved. She runs down all of Luna's crimes, including setting her up to spoilage and captivity. What if she'd hurt Kelly or Hayes? She's glad she doesn't have to see her again. Lee sees that Luna could have been helped. She merited so much further than you. I pity that girl. She hisses, God rest Luna's poor, tortured soul. Sheila sends Cleric on a mission. In Sheila's room, Cleric brings her a drink and asks how she's feeling. She's less swimmy. Cleric recounts how scary it was getting the call from the sanitarium he allowed. He'd lost her. They crack jokes about her losing another toe and also kiss. Cleric Sheila kiss BNB. Sheila and Deacon decide they'll put toe Eiffels back on the menu. She tries to get up and wants to go see her granddaughter. Cleric stops her. He'll check on Luna soon, but for now he just wants to be with her. What's left wing of you? She smacks him and they laugh. Cleric is glad they can joke about her being down to 8 toes, it could have been a lot worse. He goes over Luna shooting her and asks how she knew Luna would be at the sand. Sheila explains that she came to tell her she was going to leave, but she said she was going out with a bang. She tells Cleric she and Luna are family and veritably important likewise. She thinks she can help her. Cleric sighs. Sheila asks him to please just go and see how she is. He agrees. Liam remains unconscious. In Liam's room, Finn, Steffi, and Hope learn he's stable but hasn't recaptured knowledge. The nanny leaves and Steffi and Hope approach the bed to tell Liam that they're there and that he stopped Luna. Now they need him to keep fighting. They go over him being an amazing father and friend. We see Aunt lose you. Hope and Steffi leave, and Cleric stops by Liam's room. He asks Finn about Liam and also tells him Sheila is asking about Luna. Steffi lashes out at Bill. In the staying area, Carter tells Hope and Steffi he called Wyatt but he didn't pick up. He didn't want to tell him over a voicemail. Just also, Taylor and Ridge come in. Steffi rushes over to tearfully clinch them. She tells them Liam's coming 48 hours are critical. Ridge assures her he'll pull through. Hope Carter Steffi Taylor Ridge BNB. As they talk, Steffi tells her parents that Liam saved her life and Sheila. They assure her that Liam is strong and will pull through, but Steffi tells them he hasn't been strong for a while now. It seems she's about to tell them about his brain excrescence when Bill appears asking, where is he? Hope says he made it through surgery. Steffi snaps, no thanks to you. You do and earn to be then. Bill asks what she's talking about. Steffi harangues that Luna tried to kill her. Liam was shot trying to save her. You did this. Ridge says, Liam's paying the price. Taylor tells him their son could have been killed. Steffi cries, get out of then. Bill wails, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to leave my son. I see ain't. Finn breaks bad news. In Sheila's room, the nanny asks about the other toe she lost ahead. Sheila cracks that her granddaughter should have shot her in the other bottom to balance effects out. Cleric and Finn train in and the nanny leaves. Finn asks Sheila if she's in pain. She's not, but she's upset about Luna. How's your son? Finn doesn't respond and Sheila says she knows this is delicate for him, but Luna is their meat and blood, they see ain't give up on her. Finn says his mama and Bridget worked on Luna. They did the stylish they could, but she didn't make it. Luna's gone. Sheila cries, no. No, Cleric embraces her as she cries. Hope enters Liam's room and Carter tells her he'll stay outdoors. Hope sits by her ex-husband and says she knows he's tired but she needs him to keep fighting. She reminds him he told her he wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not ready. We can't lose you. This can't be farewell. In the hallway, Bill knows everyone hates him right now, he hates himself. But he needs to see his son. Steffi hisses that he's the reason Liam is lying in a sanitarium bed. She adds, do you know that Luna pulled a gun on Will? Bill learns she's been draining him, wanting to be with him, and that he wore a line to try and bust her. Bill cries, why am I just hearing about this? Steffi hollers, because you're part of the problem. He might as well have pulled the detector on Liam himself. Ridge warns if Liam dies, Bill will be visited the rest of his days. Bill wails that he's failed Liam since the day he came into his life. And he still loved me. Ridge says he's a good man. Bill cries that he called him weak because of it, but he's further of a man than he'll ever be. I'm sorry, but I've to see my son. He has to tell him he loves him and prompt him to fight. That might be the one good thing he gave him. My son has to live. Steffi shakes her head and walks off. Steffi joins Hope in Liam's room and asks, any changes? Hope shakes her head. Steffi assures her, this isn't how it ends. No, it can't be. Liam is going to make it through. Kelly and Beth won't lose their father to Luna Nozawa. Hope nods and they cleave onto each other. The air inside the hospital was thick with tension and grief, the sterile white walls unable to contain the hurricane of emotions sweeping through the corridors. In a quiet but emotionally charged room, Lee Finnegan confronted Penelope Poppy Nozawa, her sister, after the heartbreaking loss of Luna. Lee's voice trembled with fury and disbelief as she stared at the woman who had once been family. I can't believe what I heard you say, she whispered, shaking her head. You're in shock, she tried to rationalize, attempting to make sense of Poppy's cold indifference. But Poppy didn't flinch. Her expression was steel, her words laced with finality. No, I'm not in shock, Lee, she replied icily. I understand exactly what's happening. I meant it, I'm glad my daughter's dead. Lee, horrified by the callous statement, could no longer maintain any sense of decorum. She pulled Poppy into an adjacent room and let the dam break. You're disgusting, she spat, her voice rising with each syllable. Luna was your daughter. Your flesh and blood. How can you speak of her this way? But Poppy remained unmoved. She's gone, and I'm relieved, she insisted. You act like she was some angel, but she caused pain and chaos. She tried to ruin me, set me up to rot in jail. What if she had harmed Kelly or Hayes? She got what was coming to her. Lee's voice cracked with rage. She could have been helped, she hissed, trembling. She deserved love. She deserved a mother who gave a damn. But instead, she got you. Lee stared at her sister with pure disdain. I pity Luna. I pity the good-hearted little girl who never had a chance. She was born into darkness and betrayal. The emotional chasm between the two women widened with every breath. Lee's memories flooded back, Luna as a bright-eyed child, so full of potential, laughter, and dreams. She had a moral compass before your poison took root, Lee continued. She would have turned out differently if she hadn't been raised by a pill-popping narcissist who used men to cope with her guilt. Her voice dropped to a chilling whisper. You're the reason I'm ashamed to share the Nozawa name. Poppy's mask of indifference slipped momentarily, but she quickly composed herself. I'm not the villain, she snapped. You never cared about either of us. You were always too perfect, too righteous to see the real people in front of you. Lee shook her head slowly, tears burning in her eyes. Luna deserved so much more than what she got, she whispered, broken. May God rest her tortured, betrayed soul. Elsewhere in the hospital, in a different room laced with low light and emotional intimacy, Sheila Carter lay in bed recovering from a gunshot wound. Deacon Sharp, never far from her side, brought her a drink and tried to lighten the mood with a joke. You lost another toe, he smirked, but at least you're still alive. Sheila chuckled through her pain. We'll have to add toe-shaped cookies back to Il Giardino's menu, she teased, the darkness of the moment masked with humor. Still, there was pain behind Sheila's eyes. She tried to sit up, wanting to go see her granddaughter, Luna. Deacon, however, gently stopped her. You need to rest, he urged. Let me check on her. Sheila softened. She's family, Deacon, she whispered. She and I are more alike than you know. She needs someone who understands her. He sighed. Do you really think you can help her? I know I can, Sheila said. She was scared. Lost. But she wasn't evil. She just wanted to be seen. She grabbed his hand. Please, go see her. Tell me how she is. Meanwhile, in Liam Spencer's hospital room, things were quiet but heavy. Machines beeped steadily as Finn, Steffi, and Hope watched over him. His body was stable, but his mind had yet to return. The nurse stepped out, giving the women space. Steffi's voice cracked as she touched Liam's hand. You stopped her, Liam. You saved my life. And now you have to save yourself. Hope chimed in, brushing his hair back tenderly. You're the best father Beth could ask for. Please, come back to us. Don't go. Not like this. When Deacon entered shortly after, he found the women gone and asked Finn for an update. He's holding on, Finn explained. But we're not out of the woods. Deacon nodded, then added, Sheila's asking about Luna. In the waiting room, Carter informed Hope and Steffi that he had tried to reach Wyatt, but got no response. I couldn't leave something like this on a voicemail, he admitted solemnly. At that moment, Taylor and Ridge rushed in. Steffi collapsed into her parents' arms, sobbing. Liam's next 48 hours are critical, she told them. Ridge held her close. He's strong. He'll make it. Steffi nodded but added, he hasn't been strong for a long time. There's something I need to tell you. Before she could finish, Bill stormed in. Where is he? Hope stepped forward. He made it through surgery. Steffi's eyes blazed. No thanks to you. You shouldn't be here. Bill, stunned, asked, what are you talking about? Steffi erupted. Luna tried to kill me. Liam took a bullet because he was trying to stop her. And you protected her. You're the reason my daughter almost lost her father. Ridge chimed in. Liam's paying the price. Taylor added tearfully, our daughter could have died. Bill's face fell. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm not leaving. I need to see my son. You don't deserve to. Steffi shouted. You turned a blind eye to Luna when she stalked Will, harassed him, and even pulled a gun on him. You did nothing. You may as well have pulled the trigger yourself. Bill trembled. I didn't know. Because you didn't want to know. Steffi screamed. Ridge stepped in again. If Liam dies, this will haunt you forever. Bill broke down. I failed him from the beginning. But he still loved me. He still called me Dad. He looked at them all with wet eyes. He was more of a man than I ever was. Back in Sheila's room, the nurse playfully asked if her other foot felt left out. Sheila laughed, but the room quickly turned serious as Deacon and Finn walked in. Sheila's concern for Luna returned. Where is she? How is she? Finn looked down, his voice low. We did everything we could. My mom. Bridget, they tried. But she didn't make it. Luna's gone. Sheila gasped. No. No. She collapsed into Deacon's arms, her sobs filling the room. She was my granddaughter. In Liam's room, Hope sat quietly beside him, holding his hand. I know you're tired, she whispered, but you promised you wouldn't leave us. Not now. Not like this. We need you. Outside in the hallway, Bill waited anxiously. I know none of you want me here. I know I'm to blame. But I have to see him. Steffi stormed out of the room. You're the reason he's here in the first place, she shouted again. She went after Will, and you did nothing. Bill's face turned pale. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because you're part of the problem. Steffi thundered. You could have stopped her. Ridge's voice dropped like a gavel. If Liam dies, you'll live with this forever. I already do, Bill whispered. But I have to see him. I have to tell him I love him. His voice cracked. It might be the only thing I can give him now. Steffi shook her head, unable to bear it any longer, and walked away. Later, in Liam's room, Steffi rejoined Hope. Any changes? She asked softly. Hope shook her head, brushing a tear away. Nothing yet. Steffi took Liam's hand. This isn't how it ends. You hear me, Liam? This isn't the end. Kelly and Beth need their dad. We need you.